Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, once wrote in Meditations, "The one who conquers himself is the strongest." He was the head of a mighty empire, holding power, armies, and countless lands. Yet Marcus understood clearly that the greatest enemy of humanity is not beyond the borders, not on the battlefield, but within oneself. True victory is not conquering thousands of miles of land or defeating an army, but those seemingly small moments, restraining anger when insulted, remaining calm in the face of loss, continuing to do what is right despite fatigue or discouragement, and resisting temptations, no matter how sweet they may seem. Marcus Aurelius lived in luxurious palaces, amidst absolute power, yet he imposed discipline on himself. He wrote journals not to show off, but to confront himself. He reminded himself, "Tomorrow I will meet selfish, ungrateful, arrogant people, but I cannot let them take away my inner peace." Perhaps that is why history calls him the philosopher on the throne. He proved that self-discipline is not a chain, but a key to freedom. Freedom from the slavery of emotions, bad habits, and desires that trap us in endless cycles. And the question still echoes today. How did Marcus Aurelius cultivate self-discipline, the quiet yet steadfast strength to live fully in a turbulent life? Discipline begins with awareness. The Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius believed that suffering does not come from the world around us, but from how we perceive it. A criticism, a failure, a loss. These events are neither good nor bad in themselves. Our mind labels them, creating joy or pain, stress or peace. Thus, to cultivate self-discipline, the first step is not controlling others or the world, but controlling one's own mind. Observe your thoughts, recognize what is within your control and what should be let go. Distinguish between real emotions and automatic reactions, and gradually place your mind in calmness, where energy is freed rather than entangled. Marcus wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It is a reminder that discipline is not oppression, but freedom. Freedom from anger, from meaningless worries, from desires that drain our energy. When we realize this, every action becomes conscious, deliberate, and powerful, no longer dictated by external circumstances. Looking deeper, beginning discipline with awareness, is also Marcus speaking to himself. "I cannot control everything, but I can always control how I respond. I cannot change others, but I can change myself." And from here, true strength is born, discipline and acceptance. Unlike modern notions of discipline, Marcus Aurelius did not see it as rigid rules, checklists, or pressure to be perfect every moment. For him, discipline was in harmony with nature, finding a balanced rhythm between oneself and the world, between action and awareness, between effort and acceptance. Acceptance, according to Marcus, is not surrender or passivity. He accepted that difficulties, injustice, betrayal, failures, all are inevitable parts of life. When we fight against everything, when we keep resenting or complaining, precious energy is wasted. But when we learn to accept, the mind finds peace and we can devote energy to what truly matters, fulfilling our duties, acting nobly, and keeping our mind clear. Marcus also taught that accepting death as a natural law is part of discipline. He wrote, "Do not waste time longing for another life. Live this life nobly." In this reminder lies a profound philosophy. Every moment is precious and irretrievable, and human strength does not lie in controlling everything, but in the ability to accept and still act rightly amidst the uncontrollable. Once learned, discipline ceases to be a burden and becomes a quiet source of freedom, a subtle power guiding every decision, action, and thought. Acceptance, harmony, living fully. This is how Marcus Aurelius transformed discipline into inner strength, in a timeless lesson for anyone seeking to live consciously and meaningfully. Practical lessons for modern life. At work, Discipline is not merely arriving on time, completing tasks, or following procedures. According to Marcus Aurelius, it is keeping the mind from being swept away by distractions, temptations, office drama, or meaningless comparisons. When facing pressure, failures, or criticism, discipline allows you to rest in your mind, remain calm, and act wisely. It turns every challenge into a chance to train yourself rather than a source of exhaustion and stress. In relationships, discipline is the ability not to let impulsive emotions destroy what is precious. When anger rises, instead of lashing out, you choose silence and observe your feelings. When loving instead of rushing, you choose patience and understanding. Discipline preserves deep connections, turning everyday interactions into the foundation of trust, love, and respect. With oneself, discipline is not pressure or chains, but freedom. Freedom from the slavery of emotions, desires, and external cravings. When self-discipline is cultivated, you are no longer controlled by anger, worry, or temptation. Instead, you live more consciously, act more intentionally, and gradually become the best version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius teaches that discipline is not forcing oneself into rigid molds, but an inner strength that allows you to choose how to respond, to live purposefully with dignity and fully each day. He wrote, "Life is short. Live as if today is your last, but act as if you will live forever." These words are not just a reminder of time, but a guide for living fully, consciously, and meaningfully. Self-discipline, ultimately, is not a chain binding us, but wings that let the soul soar, rising above impulsive emotions, chaotic habits, and trivial temptations. It allows us to live with dignity, act with clarity, and face ourselves without fear. When practicing discipline, you are not confining yourself, but gaining freedom. You can see clearly what is important, what is not, and focus energy on what truly matters. You will realize that true strength does not come from power or possessions, but from mastering your mind, choosing your responses, and living meaningfully in every moment. And the final question for yourself: are you truly the master of yourself, or are you still being swept away by habits, emotions, and petty temptations? Take a moment to observe yourself. Ask, have I lived fully today? Have I acted with awareness and dignity? If not, where will you begin to cultivate discipline, find freedom, and live a life worth living? If you find this video valuable, share your reflections in the comments. And don't forget to follow the channel, so together we can explore profound philosophies on life, self, and the inner strength that anyone can cultivate.